Hey there, welcome. Thanks for joining me. If this is your first time to my channel, please consider subscribing and also click on that bell button so you guys can be notified every time I upload a new video. And if you enjoy this tutorial, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and also share with friends and family. So for today's tutorial, you're going to need 3 buckets and also 2 of these hanging hook plant holders. And what you're going to do is basically get one of your buckets in between your hanging hooks and just squeeze the hanging hooks together until the bucket fits nice and snug in between. You're going to get your E6000 Fix-All glue or Gorilla Glue, whatever adhesive you want to use, and then add it to both of your hooks and then tighten your zip tie. And you're going to repeat the same process at the top and just continually checking to make sure that your bucket fits in between the hooks. So when you're happy and you see that it fits at the top as well, get a zip tie and just tighten it a little bit, not all the way, and then go ahead and add your adhesive that you wish to use. And just add it right where you're going to tighten your zip tie at. And just go ahead and tighten them. Again, checking every once so often just to make sure it fits, your bucket fits in between. And then just go ahead and tighten. Now I added some more zip ties. I added another one at the top and another one at the bottom, but it's completely optional. One should be enough, but since I'm not sure if I'm going to use this outdoors all the time or indoors, I just chose to go ahead and add another zip tie just to make sure it's secure. And again, just tighten it. I have really weak hands, so I usually use the pliers or something just to make sure it's tightened enough when I do use zip ties. And then just do the same thing at the top. Now you can spray paint this any color that fits your home decor or your garden. I'm going to actually leave it like as is with the white buckets and the black hooks. I just like the way it looked, so that's the way I'm going to leave it. But right here at this point, I would recommend you go ahead and spray paint it if you choose to spray paint your buckets and your hook a different color, or you can wait until the end and spray paint it all together if you want your buckets and hook to be the same color. So go ahead and remove the handles of the buckets and save those handles because I'm sure we can use them for another DIY. And now you're going to start, or I'm going to start, from the bottom of the hooks, and basically just make sure that my bucket fits again, and try to center it, the bottom of your bucket, to the bottom of the hooks, and just remove your tape, your stickers that are on your buckets if you do have any stickers on your buckets. And I used some hot glue and some E6000 and zip ties. So where the handles were at, the opening, just go ahead and add your zip tie. Again, don't tighten it all the way. And then you do the same to the opposite side. Just like that. That way you can move it around while you add your glue in your adhesive, your hot glue in a E6000. And basically you just need it right in the middle. I didn't realize that since it has a little gap inside the bottom of the bucket, the ends don't actually meet. The entire bottom doesn't touch the bottom hooks or the bottom of the hooks. So just go ahead and add some Gorilla Glue in the bottom, in the center, and then you can add to on either side of that Gorilla Glue, go ahead and add some hot glue and just press on it like so. And then add some more hot glue at the ends and just hold it for a few seconds just to make sure it's a little bit hard. The glue's cooled down a little bit, enough to where it stays in place. And then just go ahead and tighten your zip ties on both sides of the handle of the bucket, just like so. And there you have the first bucket. Now go ahead, and I just moved mine to the side so it can kind of dangle, so it can completely dry. And then I'm going to do the top part, the top bucket, and then I'll do the center bucket. So go ahead and get a few zip ties. And starting at the top, do the same process. Just add your zip ties into the whole openings of the buckets and not tightening it completely. And do it on the other side as well. And I can see you, I can see myself using this not only outside, like I said, I can see myself using this inside as well. And what I did to use it in the inside is basically just get another bucket that I had, and I had a metal tin bucket, and added some foam in it and wrapped it around with some fall leaves or whatever you wish to add around the bottom, and inserted the hooks to the foam, and that way it would stand inside if you wanted to use it indoors. But just go ahead, add a little bit of E6000 and hot glue, tighten your zip ties, and there you have it. That's your top bucket. And I'm just adding some hot glue around my zip ties. So there you have the first two, the top one and the bottom one, and now we're going to do the middle one. Now the middle one, there's only what I'm going to do, or what I try to do to make it easier for myself to make sure my bucket stayed in place, was add a little bit of hot glue just so it can kind of stay in place where I wanted it to be. And it worked for a little while, so it worked enough for me to actually be able to work with it and not be so hard to hold the bucket in place. So go ahead and add some of your adhesive that you wish to use. Place it where you want your bucket to be at, and then go ahead and add a zip tie. Now here, what we're going to do is add one zip tie and tighten it, not completely tight, but tight enough to where it stays in place. And then you're going to get another zip tie in the same side and then cross it to make an X with your zip ties. And then you tighten them both like so. And then you're going to do the same thing and repeat the same process on the other side. Add your adhesive. And then go ahead and add your zip ties, making sure that it's where you want it to be. And then you just go ahead and do the same thing, making an X and crossing your zip ties. Now, of course, you can add another zip tie if you wish, or to me, I thought this would be enough since I did add some adhesive as well, and I'm not planning on adding anything too heavy. If I do use it outdoors, it'll probably be with some succulents or something like that, so it wouldn't be too heavy. So I was happy with just using the 2 zip ties for the middle bucket. And here again, I'm just adding some hot glue to make sure they stay in place. Let this dry for a little while, And then make sure they're all tightened. All the zip ties are as tight as you want them to be. And then just go ahead and remove the excess pieces of zip tie. Like so. And again, like I said, you could easily spray paint this or leave it as is. I'm leaving it as is. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are going to paint it different colors, or where you're planning on using it, because you don't necessarily have to use this as a planter. I can see using it with some soap and maybe some hand towels or in the kitchen, but this is the way it looks for indoors, and this is the way it looks outdoors. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, you guys stay blessed. Bye.